Former WWE Diva and Hall of Famer Tamara Lynn Sytch, also known as Sunny, was one of the most popular and charismatic female wrestlers and ballets in pro wrestling history. We're going to cover her rise and her fall from grace on Wrestling 911. Her father was a Navy veteran who retired, and in high school she started dating Chris Candido, a professional wrestler. Chris had connections with Smoky Mountain Wrestling and Jim Cornette, and it was Jim Cornette who convinced Sunny to be an on-screen personality. At the time, she was in college. She was studying and hoping to be a doctor with her course in pre-med. Most people don't realize it, but her first on-screen character was named Tammy Fitch, and she was a bitch. She idolized Hillary Clinton and wanted to grow up to be a politician. At the time, Jim Cornette owned and managed Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and Tammy was his biggest draw as a heel female manager for the likes of Bryan Lee, Chris Candido, and the Rock and Roll Express. Jim also had a handshake agreement with the WWE to help mold and develop their talent. Cornette was also a writer for WWE, and that turned out for the better fortune of both Candido and Tammy Sytch. He brought the two into the organization as the Body Donnas. The team were young, annoying, yuppies, and easily hateable, as they preached how America was getting fat and they were going to help everyone get into shape. Eventually, Dr. Tom Pritchard was brought into the Body Donnas as Zip. So Skip and Zip won the Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania, and it was the first time that Sunny managed professional wrestling champions in WWE. The young Sunny bounced around with practically every tag team in WWE in the early 90s, winning championships with just about everyone. But it was her on-screen appearance and bubbly personality that won her over with fans. So she was a heel manager, but the fans just loved her because she was beautiful. Her beauty played to her favor in the early days of the internet. In fact, AOL listed her as the most downloaded person in America, thanks in part by a push from AOL and the WWE to check her out at their website. Before leaving WWE, she briefly became the manager of the Legion of Doom. She had a personal feud with Rena Mero, and the two of them were two of WWE's biggest attractions, at times topping Stone Cold Steve Austin in merchandise sales. She also claims that she turned down an offer from Playboy magazine for 6 figures to do an adult spread and a cover for the magazine. Controversy followed Tammy Sytch. She claimed she had an affair with Shawn Michaels as well as several other wrestlers while she was still dating Chris Candido, and she says that Michaels introduced her to illicit narcotics, and that in turn led to a serious addiction. It was about that time in 1998 when she started no-showing some appearances, and her addiction issues got out of control. So WWE was left with no choice but to let her go. But don't worry, she stayed in the wrestling world as she joined ECW, which was on the rise and everybody was talking about. Chris Candido and Sunny were thrust into ECW's top positions. Sunny had a feud with Francine, and she was in the organization from mid-1998 to the end of 1999. Unfortunately, her feud was cut short because of her addiction issues. Dawn Marie claimed that they found Sunny passed out in the ECW locker room, and other wrestlers had some unfavorable stories about Sytch as well. This was the beginning of the fall of Sunny. Come back next week and we'll cover more of the rise and fall of Tammy Lynn Sytch.
If you're looking for the best night's sleep of your life, then look no further. Rest More combines 19 essential herbs, vitamins, and minerals. It's the top sleep supplement on the market today. Rest More is healthy, natural, and available on Amazon Prime through buyrestmore.com. If great sleep is important to you, then try Rest More.
When you just can't sleep and you need more rest, try buyrestmore.com, yes. It helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. It gives your brain what it needs, yeah.